Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is our WBC Preview Pod. Luis, are you excited for this thing?
I mean, pitchers and catchers are reporting, my guy. I mean, it's that time of the year.
It is that time of the year. We're recording this on February 11th. Don't know when you're listening to it, but if anything changes between now and the start of the WBC, which I think is like March 5th, sorry, we couldn't do anything about it. This is when we're recording the episode. That said, rosters were released last week. The schedule has been set for almost a full year, so we feel ready to preview this thing. We're going to start rolling into our MLB team previews in the coming weeks, so thought we'd get this one in the books. Very excited for this tournament, the 6th ever WBC. We were in attendance for that very fun quarterfinal game, Venezuela versus USA in Miami last time around. Also went to Puerto Rico, Mexico, quarterfinal, I think that was as well. So we're going this year again, semifinals. I've been looking at the bracket. It looks like the game we're targeting might be USA Japan. Some things have to go the right way, but should be a very fun tournament. Obviously, a lot of stars are going to be playing. We're going to talk through each roster, some more than others. I think it's safe to say this is probably a 3-team tournament in terms of teams that can actually win this thing, but there are some fun notes for some of the other teams involved in this thing. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about it today.
I would like to preface this tournament as a 4-team tournament. Of course, you have the juggernaut that is Team USA with Paul Skeens and Aaron Judge as the team captain. You got the Dominican Republic with Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Christopher Sanchez. Team Venezuela with Ronald Acuna Jr., and the team that they have with Michael Garcia. And then team number 4 is the insurance claim team. It's it doesn't go with a WBC, this WBC edition, without talking about what team insurance would look like. I feel if the insurance team were to have a team in the WBC, they would be a contender, as players like Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, Jose Berrios, Jose Altuve, Miguel Rojas, Ellie De La Cruz, Justin Lawrence, Carlos Navarez, Martin Perez, Emilio Pagan, Alexis Diaz are just players, just to name a few. So again, it is a 4-team race. Team insurance, I feel, would be a contender if they were to compete, which, I mean, it's a topic we do have to cover in regards to this tournament of the notable omissions that these teams will have.
Yeah, unfortunately, insurance is always an issue for this thing. Again, we talked about it on a previous episode. Just the timing is tough, especially with pitchers ramping up before the season. Paul Skeens had some good quotes basically saying that's an excuse. He said, like, essentially work harder, which I thought was kind of cool from Skeens. Yeah, you know, we did see Lindor yesterday. We're recording this on Wednesday, the 11th of February. Like I said, it came out that Francisco Lindor has an injury to his hamate bone in his hand, might need surgery. They're deciding that today. So I guess I understand now him not playing. He also had surgery over the offseason. So that makes sense. But again, your Puerto Rico team has been decimated. We'll talk about what they have remaining for this tournament. I saw Bad Bunny was trying to insure some of the top players to get them to play.
Hey, Buddy just did the Super Bowl. He had Ronald Acuna there. Maybe Ronald Acuna can come play for us. You know, who knows? I mean, we're at that point where going to the Lindor thing, which I felt I've reiterated in the past, and I think it should have been amplified through our social media page. We're at the point of spring training and the MLB season where injuries that are unknown are about to pop up. Yankees, I think it's today or tomorrow report.
Today, I'm nervous.
So I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys. Like the Blue Jays just had like half of the 4 players yesterday be like, "Yep, we're not going to be ready."
Yeah, Santander 6 months.
Santander, Bowden Francis,
Bieber,
and Shane Bieber. I'm telling you right now, like I said, they don't know what's going on, and we're going to see these injuries pop up. And MLB Twitter is going a little bit crazy right now. It's like, "Oh, why is this happening?" That's what I'm saying. They're going home, they're training, they're doing their thing, and now you never know.
And now they're playing in the WBC, which we've talked about on previous episodes. Can hurt pitchers in their performance for the regular season. Looking at some of the numbers from 2023, a lot of the pitchers that pitched in that tournament did struggle during the regular season. But you also had players like Ronald Acuna Jr., who played in the WBC in 2023 and had one of the better seasons in recent memory, winning the MVP that season. So it works both ways. I do think it's less of a deal for hitters than pitchers. Couple interesting notes before we get into the teams. The tournament will feature the pitch clock, but no ABS challenge system. So it'll have the same rules as MLB, 15 seconds with the bases empty, 18 with runners on. I don't think there was a pitch clock in 2023. The reason for no ABS is that tech is installed in the major league parks in Houston and Miami that are hosting games, but it's not in most countries that will also be hosting the WBC, like Japan and the Tokyo Dome, as well as Puerto Rico, the stadium there.
Of course, we don't have it.
Also, I didn't know this, but players in Korea in the KBO, they use robot umps there to call every single pitch, which I thought was interesting. I was reading an article. Had no idea.
Hey, it just goes to show you how the game of baseball has evolved throughout the years. I mean, I talk about it a lot with you off pod, but I remember a couple of years ago, I went to the Caribbean Series game, and it was just vintage baseball rules. Unlimited amount of visits, no pitch clock, no ABS. Some of the games went a little bit longer than expected, but it's kind of refreshing to see those type of things, going back to the ancestors' days of how the game was played.
Old school baseball. Were you gonna say something there?
No, I was going to say something completely off topic in regards to. I'm more interested right now in the red wedding that could be today, tomorrow for a lot of teams about these phantom injuries. So
and that could impact WBC rosters as well as guys get prepped for that. So let's go through each pool. We'll start with Pool A, which is being played in Puerto Rico and Hiram Bithorn Stadium. We have Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada, Panama, and Colombia. All of these teams were in last year's tournament or 2023's tournament. Cuba made the semifinals where they lost to Team USA. Let's start with Puerto Rico. We talked about the insurance issues, but when you look at this pool, Puerto Rico is still a minus 185 chance to get through, according to DraftKings, with Canada at plus 400, Cuba at plus 600, Colombia at plus 700, and Panama at plus 3,500. No Correa, no Lindor, no Barrios, no Victor Caratini. Javier Baez is missing this team, missing the WBC for a marijuana suspension. He got popped for marijuana in 2023, and he's serving a suspension for now 2026. Seems dumb to me. Times have changed. I'm pretty sure MLB players can smoke marijuana. I don't think that's a big deal, but Baez is missing this tournament. So when you look at what is left for Team Puerto Rico, as I pull up their roster,
I can give you the whole analysis right now. I mean, I can give you.
Yeah, you are Puerto Rican, so let's break it down.
I mean, this team has a lot of notable omissions, as you said earlier. I do feel like the biggest advantage for Team Puerto Rico is that we are playing on home soil. It will be a big factor, and I feel like us as a team will really benefit from playing at home more comparatively than Japan or Team USA. I think they'll really rally behind the cause and get behind and win a couple ball games. Again, the pitching staff is pretty crappy, to say the least.
I don't think it's as bad as expected. There's some good names there, but go ahead.
I mean, there's Seth Lugo, which he's all right. I mean, we got the pen I like is a little more. Fernando Cruz is going to be in there. Edwin Diaz got the pitch. Jorge Lopez has been up and down here in the major leagues past couple seasons. And then, I mean, I feel like the biggest difference maker in this rotation potentially is Elmer Rodriguez, who I think we're both very familiar with. He's the Yankees' top, one of the Yankees' top pitching prospects. He's going to have a big role in this tournament, maybe win a starting rotation role in for us and pitch some meaningful games down the stretch for this team. And, and this is something that I think we can look up and do a little bit of a, deep dive in. I kind of feel pitchers that rise up into a, professional major league level have a little bit more of a, this might sound a little off, but they have a little bit more leeway and they might have a little more success than hitters coming up to the major league level or a little bit more. So I feel like Elmer Rodriguez, since he hasn't been in the major league level and just hasn't pitched those innings up in the majors, there's not much tape on him on major league tape. So I feel like he's going to have, the benefit of the doubt a couple. And it happens a lot with hitters too. I mean, I remember when the Aristides Aquino, the Punisher, came up, and those hitters have like that crazy first 2-3 weeks, and then you pick up the data and teams adjust. I kind of feel that's the same way with Elmer Rodriguez, and that's the pitching staff.
Yeah, and that's a good example. I mean, a comparison I would make, and I know he was a much more highly rated prospect, but Trey Savage last year had a couple starts in the regular season and then dominated in the playoffs. A lot of that was because there just wasn't a lot of tape on him. And I think this season, over the course of a full season, 30+ starts might come down to earth a little bit compared to what we saw from the playoffs last year from him. So that is a good point. I think Rodriguez could have some success in this tournament. One note on Puerto Rico's pitching staff: I cannot wait to watch Fernando Cruz play for Team Puerto Rico in the WBC this year. We've seen how much passion he plays with when he's on the Yankees, just some of the most guttural reactions, and like he plays with so much passion for the Yankees, and he's spoken about how much he loves the Yankees, the organization, and all that stuff. But now he's playing for his country. I imagine that's going to be amplified even more. So I guarantee, playing on home soil, we're going to see Fernando Cruz come in a big spot in relief and get a big out or whatever, and the reaction is going to be electric from him. So I'm excited to watch that. I do think the pen is pretty decent, with obviously Edwin Diaz, arguably the best closer in the game, Cruz, and then also Jorge Lopez is there as well. So there's some decent arms.
In terms of the hitters, I think this is where it's kind of rough, and I feel we do feel it a lot more without Lindor, Correa, and Javi Baez. But I mean, the catching battery might be the best defensive battery in all of the not battery, but the best pairing of catchers in the Classic, with Martin Maldonado and Christian Vasquez. So Martin Maldonado probably won't even offer anything at the plate. Automatic out
officially. Yeah,
he's automatic out. I mean, he's there to manage. Hitting wise, I mean, there is Nolan Arenado, but a lot of older, like, journeyman MLB vets. Willie Castro's not coming off the best year in the outfield. He's kind of a versatile player. Heliot Ramos, he's probably the biggest power bat in the lineup. MJ Melendez just got signed by the Mets in the outfield, and Eddie Rosario. Again, Nolan Arenado is probably the best player, best bat, which is crazy at this point in his career. A couple other prospects like Edwin Arroyo. I mean, he was a guy in the Luis Castillo trade coming over from Seattle, and he's battled some injuries, so hasn't been able to take off there in the red system. But the one thing I do want to point out is the importance of having a good manager. And I feel like in these tournaments, in these World Series and postseason, having a good manager, how to manage a game and everything, takes you a long way. And I feel like Puerto Rico really does have a substantial advantage with Yadier Molina. Yadier Molina, we've known to be one of the best catchers defensively ever in the game. Having him be the manager of Team Puerto Rico, who has experience managing in the Puerto Rican leagues and has experience managing at various levels, just goes to help this team battle the issues that they have in regards to not having the best lineup. He's going to get creative in winning ball games. I mean, he knows how to manage a pitching staff. He's going to get creative, bunting, and finding ways to manufacture runs. Because when I look at this team, it's going to be very hard to manufacture runs. And so I do feel like he will be a big, big game changer for this ball club.
Yeah, we saw how much of a leader he was with the Cardinals in his career. I think he will be not only a good manager for Team Puerto Rico, I think he will be a major league manager within the next 2 or 3 seasons. I think he's next on that kind of short list of guys, former players that'll take over a managerial role at the major league level. So I think, this is kind of like a trial run for him almost. So it should be fun.
He's already done it before. He did it in 2023 as the whatchamacallit at the WBC, and I know there was controversy in 2023 because they wanted Joe Espada to manage the team, but they gave him the call, and look how they did. Molina managed Puerto Rico against Israel per 8 perfect innings. Then they also beat the Dominican Republic, and then they had that heartbreaking loss against Mexico. So I do feel like he's a great manager. Again, he's also very young. He's only 43, so I do kind of feel like, you can speak about this more, about how he can relate to the players in the clubhouse, being from there, one, two, also managing in leagues around the island. So I do feel like it's a great advantage.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I think a good example of that would be Stephen Vogt, recently retired from baseball as a catcher as well, and then took over with the Guardians, and he's been very, very good for that team. So that's Team PR. Let's run through the rest of these teams in Group A a little bit quicker, just because I do think PR is probably the class of that pool. Looking at Team Cuba, they only have 3 major league players on their roster, which is a kind of big drop off from where we've seen them in the past. They have 8 international pro league teams, 15 amateur, 8 minor league players, 15 amateur players, and then 4 amateur players. So looking at Team Cuba, like Frank Alvarez is there in the pitching staff. To be honest, I haven't really heard of many. Yariel Rodriguez is there, who we all know, but no Aroldis Chapman. He was going to try to play for Team Great Britain, but I believe he was unable to get insurance. Their catchers, Omar Hernandez, Andres Perez. Infielders, Yon Moncada is there. That's kind of the one notable guy. Alexi Ramirez is playing. I don't think he's played at the MLB level for like 10 seasons, but he's back with them, former White Sox. In the outfield, Luis Robert is off the roster this year. Really no one notable there. And Herman Mesa is the manager. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know much about this Cuban roster. There's not much there that is notable in terms of major league talent. They made the semifinals last time, and again, the roster wasn't super impressive then either. It was pretty similar to what we see this year. So they did have like Luis Mateo was there. Andy Ibanez was on that team. Yoenis Cespedes and like I said, Robert. But this team's, I don't know. I don't know really what to expect from them.
I mean, a lot of the really good Cuban players aren't playing, and we know for political reasons they're not involved in this tournament. But I do feel there's a guy to watch on Team Cuba. I know William hasn't watched this guy, but the Team Cuba has a little pitcher. His name is Livan Moniello. He's a left-handed pitcher, 5'10", 150 pounds. He pitches out in Japan, and he's one of the top prospects not playing in the Americas. And so Livan Moniello, he plays out in Japan. He's 30 years old. Again, he has a great fastball, pitching up to I think it's 92, 93 miles an hour. But I feel like he is a very, not 92, but he stays in the 92, 94 range. He's a really nice pitcher. And I feel like he's a guy we need to keep our eye on with Livan Molinello. So watch him. Could be a guy that comes over to the Americas at some point from Japan, pitches in the MPB. I think he is one to watch. Last season in the MPB, he pitched 167 innings. He has an ERA of 1.46, and he went 12-3. Again, I think he is a guy to watch. 9.3 Ks per 9. He was at 13.5 the year before. A very solid pitcher from out there in the MPB. So
there we go.
Could be a guy.
There's the name to watch for Team Cuba. Moving into Team Canada, I think this is probably the second best team in Pool A. They have 18 major leaguers, 7 minor leaguers, 2 from International Pro League, and then 3 amateur players. In terms of rotation, Michael Soroka, Jameson Taillon, Cal Quantrill, James Paxton are all there. You also have Logan Allen as an arm. Catchers, going to be Bo Naylor, backed up by Liam Hicks. Infielders, Josh Naylor is there as well. Eduard Julian is there. Abraham Toro is there. Otto Lopez, your guy, is there. No Freddie Freeman for Team Canada this go around. And then in the outfield, you have Marlins prospect, former Cub Owen Casey, Denzel Clark, one of the better defensive center fielders in the league already, Tyler O'Neill. So I think that's a pretty solid outfield. Jared Young is there as well, and their manager is Ernie Witt. Also, Justin Morneau is their hitting coach, former Twin. So I actually think this roster is pretty good. Russell Martin's their first base coach, and Stubby Clapp is their third base coach, former Memphis Redbird, one of the better Redbirds in franchise history. So if I had to make a pick, or if I had to make a prediction, I think Team Canada is probably the best chance to come out of this pool alongside Puerto Rico.
I wouldn't sleep on Cuba. for some reason. I just feel Cuba. I mean, this team looks pretty good, but again, this pitching is pretty old and it's pretty up and down. I mean, James Paxton, we've seen him. Michael Soroka, what version are we getting of Michael Soroka? There's not like that shutdown pitching, and we are missing a big back in Freddie Freeman. I mean, this offense will go wherever Josh Naylor goes, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't just write them as automatic, but I'd keep an eye for Team Cuba.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we expected much from them in 2023, and they were able to make the semis. Colombia, 7 major leaguers, 9 minor leaguers, 13 international pro league players, and then 1 amateur player. The key notable players, obviously, we have Gio Urshela, who's back. You have Jorge Alfaro. Donovan Solano is there. Pitchers, Jose Quintana, who I believe just signed with the Rockies, actually.
Yeah, man. Talk about the Rockies, my guy. I think the funniest tweet I read last night, they were like, I think the Rockies have a great analytical team, but I think their Excel sheet is sort of the opposite way in sort of pro stuff.
I felt bad for Sagano yesterday, who signed with the Rockies and was just getting absolutely flamed on Twitter.
Sagano and Quintana, man. Yeah. When I go this summer to the Coors, I'm definitely sitting in the outfield.
Yeah, you're gonna catch probably a home run ball.
I can't. I gotta bring a mitt. I can't be on my phone because I might have to catch some balls.
Some other notables for Colombia: Harold Ramirez is there. Elias Diaz, if I haven't mentioned him already. Julio Teheran, Luis Patino is there as an arm. Nabil Krimsat is there also as an arm. So there's some notables here. I think they'll push Canada. They could be in the running in this group. They could be.
And then we also have Team Panama in this group. They're the final team that we haven't talked about in this group. Notable name is Ivan Herrera, the catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. They also got Miguel Amaya from your local Chicago Cubs. And then they got Jose Caballero. Are you ready for some Jose Caballero in the lineup for Team Panama? Edmundo Sosa, Enrique Bradfield Jr. is going to be in the outfield for this team, and Johan Camargo. This is going to be the peskiest team, man. They're going to be menaces on the base pass. Can you imagine Enrique Bradfield Jr. and Jose Caballero on the base pass?
They do have some serious speed. Jose Caballero will be fun to watch him play. I like watching him play. Like we talk about all the time. He's kind of a pest. We'll bunt. We'll move guys over. We'll steal bases, play some solid shortstop. So could be a name to watch. They were kind of a darling in the 2023 tournament. So for Team A, Luis, or Group A, sorry, which teams you got going through?
I'm gonna go Puerto Rico and Cuba. I'm taking Cuba. I think Canada is going to be the great surprise that they will not get out of the pool play. Again, this tournament, a lot is vibes as well. And I feel like Cuba will have the vibes, and playing in the Caribbean will really help them out. I know last WBC they played out, I think it was in Taipei or in Japan.
Who?
Cuba. They were in a group.
Yeah, I think they were in Japan last time. I could be wrong, but I think so.
Yeah, they were in a group out there in Asia. So I'm taking the vibes.
Canada does kind of stick out like a sore thumb in this group. It's a bunch of Latin American teams, South American teams, and then Canada. Like it's going to be kind of out of their comfort zone maybe a little bit in terms of vibes. Like all these other teams probably will have more of a contingency there in terms of vibes.
You don't think the Canadians are going to hop on a jet from Canada and take a vacation down to Puerto Rico? Bro, they're going to be looking like John Hamm at Bad Bunny's concert. And so I'm just like, it's for the vibes, man. I do feel like Cuba will rally together. And again, one day I hope we can get a full Cuba roster out on the major league majors. So
definitely,
Cuba has a really good ball players, ranging from Jose Abreu, Jose Contreras was also Cuban. So
I think my pick would be Puerto Rico for sure. I'll go with Canada. I do think Colombia has a chance, but that's my pick for Pool A. Let's move to Pool B. These games will be played in Daikin Park in the great city of Houston, Texas. We have Team USA, Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil. Brazil are making their first appearance in this tournament since 2013. Let's start with Team USA. This is the roster.
I wanted to talk about Great Britain.
Let's talk about Great Britain. Let's talk about Great Britain.
I mean, Great Britain, man, led by Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Yes, sir.
Jazz Chisholm Jr., and that's pretty much it. They got Harry Ford, the top prospect from the Seattle Mariners, at catcher.
Traded to the Nationals this winter, so he's Washington National now.
And Brendan Beck and Tristan Beck. That's all they got.
They also have our guy, Trace Thompson, Klay Thompson's brother.
Oh,
They did important note with Great Britain. They did upgrade their uniforms a little bit. Remember last year or in 2023, the font was so small it literally looked like worse than Little League. Seems like they upgraded them a little bit.
Their uniforms were terrible.
So bad. So that team stinks. But we do have Jazz from the Bahamas. That's how he's able to play for Team Great Britain.
What team's worse? That one? Is that the worst team in the group, or is Brazil worse?
Brazil is easily the worst team. I think Brazil might be the worst team in this whole tournament. They have 17 amateur players, 6 minor leaguers, 7 international pro league players. They are the only team, one of 2 teams in this whole tournament that do not have an MLB player. So actually, maybe there's another team in Pool C that's worse than Brazil, but Brazil is clearly the worst team in this group. Yeah,
they got Japanese-born players I'm seeing right now: Enzo Swayama and Daniel Misasaki. That's the only thing I don't like at WBC. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. I don't enjoy how players could literally freely, willy-nilly switch their nationalities. I understand that players do want to get an opportunity to play, but rep one nation. Don't be switching affiliations mid-career, mid-tournament. Oh, just because you want to play. I understand it's a pride thing, but like at this point, you're just a mercenary if you just do that. In FIFA, that doesn't happen. In basketball, I mean, only if you're Joel Embiid, but like it's very rare that you see players switch and play for different nationalities. It's like some of these like nationalities, you're grasping at straws. Like, oh, like because my aunt's aunt was Brazilian, I can go play for Team Brazil, or because my dad's brother or best friend, bloodline best friend is Japanese, I can go rep Team Japan. Like, no, like pick one nation. Like, it's nice to have players like Roland Arenado play for Team Puerto Rico. I know, a little bias. It's nice to see Austin Wells or Augustin Wellington play for Team DR. But I think it's kind of a nuisance and just kind of an awful like representation of what to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's just not as much depth in baseball in terms of, or compared to soccer, where, in the World Cup, pretty much every team involved is at least some level of a pretty strong footballing nation. Baseball is just not as international as soccer is. So they kind of loosen some of the restrictions for these players. So I understand it's not perfect. But guys like Enrique Bradfield Jr. had no chance of making Team USA. So his only chance was if he was going to go play for Panama. So I understand wanting to play in this tournament, but yeah, I also get your point there as well.
I also feel like if you've already repped one nation in the WBC, you shouldn't be able to just change up the next tournament.
Yeah, I think that part I would probably agree with. I think,
Marcus Stroman did that.
Benedict Arnold, like you call him. In terms of Pool B, Team USA is an overwhelming favorite to get through, minus 20,000. Then Mexico at minus 400 to qualify for the knockout, followed by Italy plus 300, Brazil plus 2,500, and Great Britain plus 2,800. So Brazil and GBR are the clear long shots. The youngest player on any roster in this whole tournament is 17-year-old pitcher Joseph Contreras on Team Brazil. He was born in 2008. So he was born just before the Yankees won their last World Series.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is quite crazy.
I mean, the next team I want to talk about, Team Italy. Team Italy actually is pretty solid. I mean, yeah, not great. They're all right. Adam Ottavino, who hasn't been great. Michael Lorenzen. They got my guy Rob Marinacchio, Aaron Nola, Kyle Teal, John Berti,
Greg Weisman.
Exactly. Vinny Pasquantino, Jack Caglione, Jacob Marcy. Team's not bad. Again, I feel like Team Italy would have a lot more players. I feel like a lot of people in our country would abuse of that. Oh, I'm part Italian and would play for Team Italy. So it's like I'm part Irish, my guy. Not calling anybody out, but you know how everybody's like, oh, where's your family from? Oh, I'm like part Irish German. And it's like, hey, this is a perfect excuse to say you're Italian here. But Team Italy's not bad. I mean, they're just in a group where they got to play Team USA and Team Mexico.
They have some interesting players or coaches.
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Yes. Francisco Cervelli is their manager. Jorge Posada is an assistant hitting coach on that team. Some other notables, I don't know if you said Jack Caglione, Dominic Canzone is there, Thomas Sagasi from the Cardinals, John Berti, and then Kyle Teal as catcher. Also Michael Lorenzen. So they're plus 300 to get through. So it's really between them and Mexico fighting for that second spot in this group, in my opinion.
They also got Sal Pisano as coach.
Who's that?
He was a pitcher for the Yankees back in the day, back in the 2000s. I just think it's interesting to see these coaching staffs and how they come to fruition. I mean, Jorge Posada not coaching for Team Puerto Rico is kind of crazy, but I can tell how Yadier Molina and Jorge Posada are just two different types of people. Not saying, but just two different types of vibes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Jorge Posada through the Yankees dynasty, and we know Yadier Molina through the most recent. So,
Luis, talk me through Team Mexico.
I mean, Team Mexico, man. I mean, this is a pretty good side. I mean, not probably if we were to tier these teams out, it'd be USA, DR, and Venezuela, and then insurance, and then after the insurance team, you have Team Mexico. I feel Mexico and Team Insurance would have a good bout, but I do feel like the insurance team's a little bit better.
What about Japan?
Oh, I forgot Japan. Yeah. Well, Insurance and then Mexico and insurance. But I mean, pitching staff again, Javier Assad, Jose Uriquity, Robert Garcia, Taj Bradley. I don't think starting pitchers are great on this team. I do feel like the pen is much better. They got T1 Walker. They also have Andres Munoz. It's literally getting the ball to Andres Munoz and giving us 3 outs. Yeah. Catchers, you got Alejandro Kirk, best catcher probably in the game.
Second best catcher, but could be the best catcher after this season. Sorry.
Infield is pretty good. I mean, Jonathan Aranda, Nick Gonzalez, Rowdy Tellez, Joey Ortiz, the Urias brothers, Ramon and Luis. I do feel like those two would be pretty good players. I mean, not a outstanding infield, but a really formidable, solid, like giving me, bottom half of MLB vibes infield, which is good for this tournament because, again, you are condensing down the player pool.
Aranda's pretty damn good. He was an all-star last season.
Yeah, well, exactly. And then in the outfield, you got Randy Rosarena, Jaron Duran, Alejandro Osuna, and Alec Thomas, which I feel those are 4 really good outfielders to have. It will be interesting to see how the starting pitching goes. I feel that will go and how the middle infield can hit. So,
yeah, it's a good team. Solid team. They should get through. But I could see a world where Team Italy gets through. So I could also see a world in which Team Italy gets through. Let's talk Team USA. It's literally like just night and day. They have 30 MLB players, one retired MLB player in Clayton Kershaw, but like it's just there's such a gap between Team USA and everybody else in this WBC, in my opinion. Small gap between them and DR and Japan, but like everybody else in the tournament, I just think they're so much better. Pitching staff led by Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, also have Logan Webb, Joe Ryan as starters. Bullpen, Nolan McLean, Clay Holmes, Garrett Clevenger, Matthew Boyd, David Bednar, Griffin Jacks, Mason Miller, Gabe Spire, Michael Waka, Brad Keller. Matthew Boyd is also a starter here. So they're insane in terms of starting pitching and bullpen. Catchers, arguably 1-2 best catchers in all of baseball. Easily 2 top 3 catchers in Cal Raleigh and Will Smith. So have fun with that. Infield, Alex Bregman, Ernie Clement, Paul Goldschmidt as a veteran presence. Bryce Harper is there. Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang, and Bobby Witt Jr. In the outfield, Aaron Judge, the captain. Byron Buxton, Corbin Carroll, and Pete Crow Armstrong with Kyle Schwarber as the DH. Your manager, again, is Mark DeRosa. Some notable coaches, bench coach Michael Young, assistant coach Brian McCann. Matt Holliday is a hitting coach. Sean Casey is a hitting coach. Andy Pettit is the pitching coach again. So also have David Ross as the bullpen coach. This is the dream team. This is like the Olympic team that the basketball team had in the 90s with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, all those guys. This is what this is. Team USA, best WBC team ever, in my opinion, in terms of roster construction. Doesn't mean they're going to win. Does not mean they're going to win. A lot of these players have not played together. And I do think the power of friendship, which is what we saw with Team Japan in 2023, helped propel them to victory alongside, of course, their talent. But this team is insane.
William, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Name me your starting lineup for game one.
Okay. I think DeRosa is going to want to go lefty, righty all the way down. So I think leading off, I'm going to have Bobby Witt Jr. You could go Gunnar, you could go Corbin. Maybe Corbin Carroll leading off. Aaron Judge at the 2 slot. Then I'm going to go lefty again. I'm going to go Schwarber in the 3-hole. Righty again. I'm going to go Bobby Witt in the 4 slot. Feels a little low for him. You could lead off Witt, but then who hits second? Because I really want Aaron Judge hitting second, whatever. Bobby Witt. Gunnar Henderson. I lost count. I think that's 5. Gunnar Henderson. He's a lefty at 3rd. Maybe you go. Oh shit! I forgot about Cal Raleigh. Actually, yeah. Okay. Ooh.
I think this will take a lot more time, and you're doing a lot of mental gymnastics. I think you need to get a piece of paper to write this down.
Yeah. I had it written down.
I'll give you mine.
From December.
I'll give you no order. I think catcher, we're going Cal Raleigh. He's going to be hitting. I'm going to want Cal hitting 5th. Infielders, I'm going to take at 1st. I'm taking Bryce Harper is going to be hitting at 1st. Bobby Witt's going to be my shortstop. Gunner's going to be 3rd base. And 2nd base is going to be Bryce Turank.
And he's hitting 9th, probably.
Yeah, 9th. And then my outfield is going to be Corbin, PCA, and Judge Schwarber at DH. Judge is hitting 3rd. Corbin's hitting 1st. Witt's at 2nd. Cleanup, it's going to be Harper. Rally at the 5-hole. I could maybe flip one of those two. Turank's hitting 9th. Gunner's hitting 6th. I don't know. I lost count, but this lineup is impossible.
Team USA is so good, they would win the World Series easily, let alone the WBC, where the competition is nowhere near as good as MLB. So I don't really think it's a question of if Team USA can win the WBC. It's more of how many games would this team win in the regular season. I think 110 plus, and they would coast to a World Series. So I honestly, like, I'm kind of stepping on my prediction for this whole tournament, but I got Team USA winning. I think Team USA goes undefeated. I think there's a good chance they win every game by 5+ runs. I just think they're that much better. The main competition is clearly the Dominican Republic this time around. And I do think there's a world in which DR beats Team USA, but there's also a world in which Team DR doesn't get to the point where they get to play Team USA. If we remember, they were unable to get through the group stage in 2023. Can they get through this time around? I do think they do. I just don't think their pitching is as good as what Team USA has. Their lineup is incredibly stacked. So maybe if Team USA ends up playing DR, they don't win every game by 5+ runs. That would be a really close game and a fun one. I hope that's the championship if that's the way it works out. But I do think Team USA is coasting to the WBC title this year.
I do feel like the pitching could get better in a hypothetical world, to be honest. I do feel like the 2 notable omissions in this pitching staff is Hunter Brown and Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, I saw Crochet said that he had plans in 2025 of being part of Team USA for this year's WBC, but his decision came down to his newborn baby girl in the Red Sox, so he passed on participating. That was from Boston Strong _34 on Twitter with that. So yeah, Crochet not playing, that is a loss, but you still got Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens. Also, I made a reel about it the other day, but Clayton Kershaw with no insurance concerns, no ties to an MLB team, could be an innings eater for Team USA here.
Then Mookie Betts also is an omission. Mookie Betts and Kyle Tucker. So again, and also when you talk about, my only concern is the coaching staff, is the lack of. DeRosa. He does have experience in WBC, but where is our MLB managers? Why can't we have, Kevin Cash for the Rays? What we think both is like top 5. I know it's in the middle of spring training, but why can't we have? It's like Team USA basketball and Team USA. It's they have the best coach in the game. Coach.
Not in the middle of the season, so it's a little bit different. I do think that I really like Mark DeRosa. I really like him on MLB Network. I thought he was pretty solid in 23. Almost got over the hump that year, but we're unable to. Let's go through Pool C and Pool D to wrap this thing up. Pool C is probably the weakest pool. You have these games are being played in the Tokyo Dome. Japan, Australia, South Korea, Czechia, and Chinese Taipei. Let's start with Team Japan. I think they are weaker than they were in 2023. That said, they do have NPB's reigning Sawamura Award winner, which is the top pitcher in the league, Hiroma Ito, as well as the reigning MVPs, Aoki Sato and Livan Molina, who's actually playing for Cuba. But there is a lot of talent on Team Japan and, just in this tournament in general. The reigning award winners, Cy Youngs, and MVPs are all in this tournament. But in terms of pitching for Team Japan, you have Yusei Kikuchi, obviously Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tomoyuki Sagano is there. I talked about Ito, the reigning Sawamura Award winner. Those are the notables. No Shota Imanaga, he's not there. And Shohei is not pitching for Team Japan this time. Catchers, haven't heard of any of them. They're all NPB players or Japanese players. Infielders, the notables here, Kazuma Okamoto, who's coming over and to MLB this year, and Munetaka Murakami for the White Sox, Terayuaki Sato, the reigning NPB MVP. And then in the outfield, some notables that you have heard of, Seiya Suzuki and Masataka Yoshida. Team Japan has 9 MLB players and 21 international pro league players on the roster this season or this tournament. So again, with Japan, it's a lot of players you haven't necessarily heard of, but they are very good NPB players. And again, Japan is a country that takes baseball very seriously. I'd argue maybe like it's USA, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Japan. Like they're in that second behind like DR in USA in terms of production of MLB players, or in terms of just how seriously they take the sport. Like it is a huge deal there, and they have the power of friendship, which you can't underestimate. You
mean the power of the Dodgers? So
no Roki.
Yeah, which is interesting. There's some interesting comments. I don't want to touch on them now. I want to hold them for the preview pod. But you know what I thought was very interesting, and it got me thinking. I read their coaching staff, and obviously I don't know. I'm not familiar. I'm not hip to their game. But I was comparing them. They have a game planning coach, which I don't know. It's just so interesting. Like, we talk about like in basketball and in soccer and in different sports, different tactics on how the game is played. I want to be playing more mindful and more, pay more attention to how Team Japan manages games and how they go through games differently. How do they manage it? How do they attack the game differently than Team USA? Obviously, yes, you're going to hit the ball and whatnot, but how does Team Japan go through their process of managing and game planning for a game against these teams?
Yeah, that is an interesting note. The game planning coach there. If we know anything about Team Japan, is they are probably going to be the most prepared team. They're probably going to not make any mistakes, and they're going to be very tough to beat, even if they don't have a ton of major league talent. That's just kind of what we've known Japan baseball to be. They play their game the right way, and they're very fundamentally sound. So do not sleep on Team Japan, even if they aren't necessarily as loaded as they have been in years past. Team Australia, only one major league player in Travis Bazana. Everyone else, Curtis Mead is there. But other than that, it's probably no one you've really ever heard of, to be honest. So I don't really have much on Team Australia and their coaching staff. Graham Lloyd is there as the bullpen coach, but other than
that's a long flight to Tokyo is all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough, my guy. It is tough.
Team Czechia, Czech Republic, 27 amateurs. Like it's going to be again, I have not heard of any of these players. But last time around, they were kind of the darling of the tournament because there was a bunch of like school teachers and plumbers and firefighters and stuff like that. One of them struck out Shohei Ohtani in that tournament. So they're there for pure vibes. They're there for pure vibes. Do not expect them to really make any noise in the tournament. They're plus 1,200 to get through the pool. And the rest of the pool, Japan is minus 20,000, South Korea plus 100, Australia plus 235, Chinese Taipei plus 250. We could talk about Chinese Taipei. They have 2 MLBers, 20 international pro leaguers, 7 minor leaguers, and 1 amateur player. They have some notables on their roster. haven't really heard of any of the pitchers. Catchers, haven't heard of any of them. They have Yu Chang, who wasn't Yu Chang. Didn't he go nuclear in last tournament?
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he did. And then Stuart Fairchild is there in the outfield, which I thought was kind of interesting. They hosted last time around, I think.
That's what I think Cuba played.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. Yep. I got nothing really on them.
It was nothing. Let's just go to Group D. Let's just talk about the real teams, man.
Korea. They have some good players. They have Woo-Suk Go in the rotation. They have Hao-Seong Kim in the infield. They have
Dane Dunning,
Jung-Hoo Lee. They have Dane Dunning,
Jahmai Jones. I mean, it's an all right team.
Yeah, it's okay. I think predictions for we didn't make a prediction for Group B officially. I have U.S. and Mexico getting through there, and then Group C, I have Japan and Japan and South Korea getting through.
I got Japan and Taipei.
If you could skip any group stage, and honestly, I think you can turn this tournament on in the knockout rounds. But if you could skip a group stage, I feel like you're going to watch every game. I think you can skip Group C. It's not very good.
Plus, it's the times, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really. Let's talk about the real team, Team D in the Team DR. They will be probably a pull. I'm very interested to see how this team meshes together and how the clubhouse vibes are and the chemistry on this team. Again, most talented team probably on paper is right next to Team USA. Catchers, you got big Agustin Ramirez, and you got Agustin Wellington at catcher.
AKA Austin Wells.
Yeah. I don't know if he knows Spanish, so I don't know.
There'll be a translator there, I'm sure.
Ben Rice would have been a better fit for this team, not going to lie.
100,000%, yes. I would have loved to see Ben Rice play for Team DR if possible.
Yeah, Ben Rice. Infielders Junior Caminero, Vlad Guerrero Jr., who has lost weight. I don't know if you've seen his offseason transformation.
I'm not going to lie. Those pictures look the same to me. It looked like the same guy.
Manny Machado, Ketel Marte, Ahmed Rosario, Jeremy Pena, Jerry Perdomo, and Carlos Santana, who actually did not get insurance, but the Diamondbacks are letting him play. O'Neal Cruz, Julio Rodriguez, Johan Rojas, Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis Jr. Juan Soto is going to be playing out in left field this year at Citi Field, which is interesting. They're managed by Albert Pujols. Also have Placido Polanco, longtime MLB infielder. I don't know if you remember him.
Yep.
Pitching staff, Sandy Alcantara, Brian Bayo, Luis Severino, Christopher Sanchez. Those are the big starters. And the relievers are a bunch of dudes that are solid, good stuff. But those are dudes that I just like remind me of like prime like Cubs depression years, where like the Cubs were like 81 and 81, and then they would come in and they had not Carlos Zambrano, but they had Pedro Strop or Carlos Marmol coming into the 8th and 9th, and then they would just let up nukes out to left and right field, and then the fans would be so mad that Pedro Strop and Carlos Marmol like were on their team.
The bullpen screams blown game to you.
Yeah, not blown. They're not that blown player, but it's just like they're either striking out the side or they're giving out bombs.
Carlos Estevez is pretty damn good, but Camilo Doval is definitely a guy that struggles with control.
Dennis Santana, Gregory Soto struggles with control. Sir Anthony Dominguez. I think we all know what Sir Anthony Dominguez did this past postseason against the Dodgers, giving one up to Ohtani. Huskar Brazoban. I mean, it's a very good team. I mean, the clear difference between Team USA and Team DR is that Team DR's pitching does not come up anywhere in comparison to Team USA. Team DR lacks a true number one in the sense that, yes, Christopher Sanchez could be considered a true number one, but Team USA has 4 or 5 number ones in Logan Webb, Paul Skeens, and Tarek Skubal. Excuse me. I just forgot about Tarek Skubal's existence. He was just going to come on this podcast and show me his 2 Cy Youngs if I forgot to name. So at the end of the day, that's the clear difference between both teams. And I do feel catchers is Team USA is better, but the infields can go blow for blow, and so can the outfields.
Agreed. I do think a huge thing with the WBC this year, pitching depth is paramount in the WBC because these starting pitchers are not going to be going 7-8 innings. Like, you're not going to see Tarek Skubal pitch more than, who knows, like 50 pitches. So the fact that Team USA is just so much deeper in the pitching staff than Team DR, I do think is going to make the difference. Again, like you don't need these guys, or you don't need to play that many games, but you also don't want to be relying on bullpen guys, day after day after day. I do think having that depth for Team USA and the pitching staff will prove the difference in this tournament, which is why I got them winning it all. Because to your point, like, the hitting is pretty equal between DR and Team USA, but DR is the clear favorite to get through Group D alongside Team Venezuela, who I can chat through. Their pitching staff is headlined by Pablo Lopez, Ranger Suarez, Eduardo Rodriguez, Herman Marquez is there. And then in the bullpen, Jose Alvarado, Yuendris Gomez is there. Daniel Palencia is there, who plays with a lot of passion. Kiter Montero is there. So, Antonio Senzatella. So it's an okay pitching staff. Lopez and Ranger are kind of gonna have to carry, similar to Christopher Sanchez and Sandy Alcantara for Team DR. Catchers, William Contreras, one of the better catchers in the league, and Salvador Perez. Infielders, Luis Arraez, who said hitting is pretty easy yesterday. Don't know if you saw that. Wilson Contreras, Michael Garcia, Andres Jimenez, Eugenio Suarez, Gleyber Torres, and Ezequiel Tovar. That's a really good infield. Really good. Outfield, Wilyer Abreu, Ronald Acuna Jr., Jackson Chourio, and Javier Sanoja. The addition of Jackson Chourio to this team adds another element of power, excitement, young talent. Acuna, Chourio, and Wilyer is a really good outfield. So that's exciting. I think this team's really good. They're managed by Omar Lopez. Robinson Chirinos is their bench coach, and Miguel Cabrera is the hitting coach. So Victor Martinez is there too. Johan Santana is the pitching coach. So yeah, this is, again, clearly the second best team in this
group,
in this pool group, whatever you want to call it. I think they're getting through with alongside Team DR. I think this is going to be kind of a runaway train. These games are being played in Lone Depot Park, by the way, in Miami. Yeah.
Then you got other teams. Team Israel. I like Team Israel's really gotten a couple guys. Harrison Bader should be playing. Harrison Bader is playing for Team Israel. He's one of the mainstays. Spencer Horowitz, Matt Mervis. They also have Max Fried is not pitching.
Yeah,
which I think the Yankee fans would be very excited about, not for just the season in general. Eli Morgan, Dean Kramer. So this is a solid team.
Tommy Canley,
he's pitching. Brad Osmus, Kevin Youkilis are the coaches. Brad Osmus being the manager. So it's a solid team. And then William, we can talk about the Netherlands.
Yeah, my origin country of birth. Most of these guys are from Curaçao though, or Aruba. So it's kind of the Netherlands. I mean, it's the Kingdom of the Netherlands is what they wear on their jersey. It's not like, European Netherlands, but they are technically Dutch, although I don't think these players would identify as being Dutch. Anyways, Kenley Jansen is the closer. So, he's now a Detroit Tiger, one of the better closers of the 21st century. He is their notable pitcher. Catchers, Chadwick Tromp is there. Infield is pretty good. Ozzie Albies, Xander Bogaerts, are both there. Didi Gregorius, who might be pushing 40 at this point, is going to be playing.
Hey, I saw him take BP yesterday. He was taking BP at Yankee camp yesterday. So
Yeah. Outfield is pretty nice. Drew Jones, the prospect, Jerkson Profar is there, and Cedon Rafaela is going to be playing center field. So they're going to have some really good defensive center field there. The manager, Andrew Jones, so he will have his son on this team, is kind of the only notable guy on the coaching staff. Again, this is a team that's had some success in the WBC, not in 2023, but I think it was 2017. They were pretty good. They're plus 450 to get through, so they actually have better odds than Israel and Nicaragua. I still don't think they get through, but there's some fun players.
And then finally, our last team, Nicaragua. Nicaragua has Erasmo Ramirez, Duque Herbert, who I remember from MLB The Show. He had an insane card, and I had to spam it. Jeter Downs is on this team.
Involved in the Mookie Betts trade.
Mark Vientos, and they're going to be managed by Dusty Baker.
Yes, sir.
So
I think he's like 78 at this point.
We'll be interested to see how this team performs, to be honest.
You got Venezuela and DR getting through this group.
100%. If they don't get through, that's going to be the story of the tournament.
And who's your winner? I already said Team USA.
I'm taking Team USA. I don't think anybody can match up with Scooball and Skeens 1-2.
It's going to be fun to watch. I want to see
fun.
Team USA and Dominican Republic Championship is what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for.
It'll be a fun tournament. I feel like it will produce some good baseball, some good moments. I think it was Team Nicaragua had a pitcher who hadn't pitched in like I don't know how many years, and he pitched out the side against one of the bigger teams, and the Detroit Tigers gave him a minor league contract. And so like they were eliminated like 3 days later, but he had a nice trip up to the spring training. So hey, some players out here are playing for some contracts. So that's always good. It's not like a moot tournament where players should just like NBA All-Star game or a Pro Bowl, just not caring. Players are playing for pride, or they're playing for some cash.
Yeah, so they play with a lot of passion. So it's better than spring training baseball, 100,000%. So we'll have some meaningful baseball starting. I believe it is March 5th. That is your preview. Obviously, we'll be covering it along the way. We'll be there for a semifinal game. I think we're, in the group stage, maybe less coverage. Talk about it a little bit, but once we get into the knockout rounds, we'll be doing recaps of those games as you guys are tuning in more so. So can't wait for this to get kicked off, to get started. We both got Team USA winning. I think it's going to be one of the more fun, maybe the best ever WBC. Don't want to put too much pressure on it, but it's shaping up to be that way. So, Luis, you got anything else before we get out of here today?
I'm ready. Ready for the red wedding today. Next couple of days between teams. I know William's going to lose it at work today.
Yeah, I'm scared for my Twitter notifications today. What's going to come out of Yankee camp? Garrett Cole is not recovering as he wanted. He's actually going to be out until August, which tunes into, September, October. Who knows? Who knows what's coming?
Exactly. So.
All right. Well, thanks as always, Luis. This was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're listening. And yeah, can't wait for the WBC. Until then, catch you guys next time. Peace out.